You guys ready?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that chicken has moved on from my window.
When you mentioned the chicken, it's like I could hear a chicken in my background too. So I was thinking it's like funny if we record the episode and people hear a chicken in one side and then a chicken in the other side when somebody else talks
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, how's it going, all you Pastime Paradise podcast listeners? My name is Aldrine Guerrero, and welcome to another issue of the Pastime Paradise podcast with me, Aldrine Guerrero.
Kahai
Aaron
Fergan.
Nakamura.
Yeah.
Wait, can I try that again?
Sure.
Okay, who's gonna go second? Just so
Kahai.
that we, Okay. Kahai will go. Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pastime Paradise podcast. My name is Aldrine,
This is Kahai Fergan.
And this is Aaron.
and you are listening to this week's issue of the Pastime Paradise podcast. What's up, gentlemen? How are you?
What's up? Yeah, all good.
Lovely morning we are having today. And so Kahai, we recently put the podcast out. I believe episode 2 of this recording, episode 2 is out. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's good. And I'm glad our friends are able to listen to it. And a couple of our friends have, said like, oh, I'm so glad you guys are back, or things like that. So yeah, and I just hope we can connect with them, talk with them more, and then more people can hear us who maybe heard us from before. I think Aaron mentioned that like somebody emailed him and was like, oh, I miss your guys' voices. And then Aaron was like, yep, guess what?
Here you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you mean this voice? Yeah, so that's it came out a couple weeks ago, and if you guys want to check out Spotify or wherever you get your streaming podcasts from, you can basically stream it on there. We're working on getting it on Apple, for those of you folks who are still using Apple Music, or who are you not still using. I was gonna say iTunes, but then I don't want to sound too much like an unk. Like, what is iTunes?
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm excited actually, because I love just kind of sitting down and listening to you guys. I've been waiting for like a long time for us to get back like this together and just shoot the shit basically, right? Like I love just kind of seeing what you guys are up to, because for those people that don't know, I see Aaron basically every day. Like I feel like I hang out with him as much, if not more, than I hang out with my wife, my own wife at home. So, but Kahai though, I just never know what he's up to. So every time I see him, like my face always lights up. Like back in September, it was Aaron's wedding. And I didn't know who was gonna come to the to the bachelor party, and then I saw Kahai and my face is lit up, and then he brought his coffee stuff with him. I was like, oh, Kahai, awesome.
Yeah, that was fun hanging out. And even at Aaron's bachelor, we got to like jam, so that was really fun.
Yeah. It was nice. And then
It kind of feels like that that party, because like it was just like us hanging out in my like. My uncle still owns my grandparents' property, and so we just hung out there. It's pretty close to the beach, so we just like walked to the beach, and yeah, it wasn't what people think of as like a bachelor party.
I guess so. I have to kind of explain that. Like, we were at a bachelor party, and then this whatever was there, and then Kahai came with his coffee stuff.
Yeah, we set up tents in the backyard, and we like full camped, but like we had access to a kitchen, and it was super fun.
Hell yeah.
And so because a lot of my friends are into random things, and so we had been talking about probably trying to bring back some kind of like the podcast in some kind of iteration, and so that just us meeting kind of solidified it, right?
Yeah. I saw Kahai every now and then, like since the end of the Ukula Underground pod, but then that was like the first time that we actually got to sit down and hang out and have some of Mark's coffee. I think Mark was making coffee also, right? And I think I made you some matcha, because I brought my matcha stuff as well. It was really cool. It was a nice hangout. It was no party like an Aaron Nakamura party, man.
The thing I remember, it's like when people think of a bachelor party, they might think like you get excited about certain stuff.
Yeah.
The thing I remember, it's like us getting excited about was when somebody said, "Oh, you should put the poke onto the shrimp chip," and then we all started trying it, and it's like, "Oh, this is a great combination." But yeah, that was
right.
like, it wasn't the debauchery, or we were also talking about what is a good export for Kauai, and we're trying to come up with ideas for that. So it's like stuff like that.
Like a Kauai omiyage.
Well, I wasn't gonna say the ideas we came up with, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah. Also, Kahai made his signature salsa.
Yeah.
That's what you were up to, yeah, like all summer.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah. Yeah. Aaron said, "Yeah, just come hang out," And then I wanted to bring something, and I've been making salsa in the meantime, so I was like, okay, I'll make salsa. But then also, Aaron told me like a story about him eating tater tots when he was in school. So I made a tray of tater tots to bring. And yeah, just wanted to bring something.
Yeah, and then that night,
nice.
My good friend Steven, he reverse seared a steak.
Ooh.
And so we ate the salsa, Kahai salsa with the steak, and it was match made in heaven.
Hell yeah, that was so good. Everything was really good that weekend, and everything lined up, and everything was super perfect. It was nice. It was a nice bachelor send off to one Aaron Nakamura.
You had to get it all in, right, Aaron? You had to do everything that now that you're married, you're gonna be held back. No more poke on shrimp chips. You can't try all the cool things.
Nah, as soon as Kahai pulled in, I was like, "Yup, strippers here." Here we go, show.
You know me. Yep.
Oh yeah. I brought my $2 bills to tip him for the coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so I've recently I've been kind of getting back into my kind of music and working on my ukulele and all that. And I think I mentioned that in the past few episodes. But one thing that I've really dived into is finding the right live setup for myself, and that includes things like pedals and whatnot. And last night I was talking to my mother-in-law who's visiting, that I started doing that, and then I told her, she was wondering like, oh, what do you mean, like explain that to me. So I was trying to explain to her that the entire time I've actually just been playing my ukulele. The best word I could explain to her is pretty raw. I played my ukulele very raw, as in no effects, no nothing. The only thing that I had on stage was a DI preamp that I was using. It was the LR Bags Venue. And for those of you folks who are not into music or ukulele, what that is basically just a microphone from a ukulele, and then that's it. And then that microphone, you can adjust the EQ so that like you can kind of shape the tone to how you want it, but that's it. No fancy business, because when I was younger, I used to do a lot of effects like wah and distortion and delays and phasers and all kinds of crazy stuff. I was like 18, 19 when I was doing that kind of experimentation. And then I don't know, I just heard like people talking about my sound, and they were saying like, oh, okay, well he sounds good, or he's good because he has all these like effects that he's doing. And I kind of took it to heart. So I was like, I need to like just kind of strip everything so that nobody can say anything about myself, about me, and as like a young kid, I had like this weird like chip on my shoulder, like I just wanted to prove to everybody that like I can hang, or that. And at that age, like my goal was to be one of the greats, like, and I looked up to guys like Jake Shimabukuro, like Herb Ota, junior and senior, and Lau Ritz, and guys like that, and who are the names among names of ukulele. So I'm like, I need to prove to everybody that I can hang without any kind of glitter and shimmer and shine on my ukulele. And I did, and I've been playing with a dry signal for the past like I guess 20 years at this point, right? If it started when I was 20. That kind of goes down to me wanting to dive back in, and I had no idea where to start. So I actually like watched a lot of like YouTube videos trying to figure out what I'm going to do or where I'm gonna start, and I just started going down some weird rabbit holes of like this, like this weird pedal is like $5,000. I'm like, why is that pedal $5,000? Like, what makes that so good? Like why is it that much? It's just like a fuzz box or an overdrive or something. I'm like, I don't even need that, but I kind of want it. And just started going down this weird like rabbit hole and getting to know, like, I guess with every hobby or with anything really, like any kind of specialty thing, there's always like these influencers or these like personalities online that like claim to be like the experts like of that field. And I feel like the more I watched, the more I didn't know what I was doing, and it just felt super overwhelming. Have you guys ever like been down kind of a rabbit hole and you're just like, if I keep going down this hole, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get back up.
Aaron,
Kahai?
I was gonna say because I feel like I do not, if I ever had that compulsion of like, oh no, I'm falling too far into the rabbit hole, I have never listened to it. I think if I start falling into a rabbit hole, I don't stop until I'm like, where the hell am I? How am I this deep in,
Wait, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you'll have to give some examples of that.
What do you mean, guy?
I don't know. I was thinking about this, like when we talked about what we're gonna talk about on today's podcast. And I could either go into like what I think is kind of obscure, like an obscure rabbit hole, or something where it's like another thing that is like I feel like I'm pretty deep into, So what should I talk about? Should I talk about the weird thing or the thing I'm like really deep into?
Weird. Keep it weird, right? Keep it weird.
and then the really into.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it weird.
Okay. Well, actually, before we go into it, Aldrine, can I ask you?
Sure.
You mentioned that you heard people saying stuff about you and your playing and stuff.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is what our friend Mike said. And he said that was like a catalyst to being like, oh, maybe,
Oh yeah. So it was at the Kauai Music Festival, and really like it's not like I needed like all the effects and stuff like that. It was just like a normal show with just acoustic kind of songs and stuff. I didn't have my band with me, but I was playing as a part of a band at that time, in a 6-piece band. But that particular show, I think it was just me and Ryan, and I think Mike was playing with us. And with that kind of setup, with just ukulele, guitar, bass, you don't really want to add distortion or wah or anything. That it just feels out of place. So I was setting up my pedals, but because that's just how I knew, how to set myself up, right? So I had like I had my DI, or like my little preamp DI thing. I had like I had a Peterson strobe stomp tuner. I had a like a metal zone, an MT2 metal zone. I had a DD3 delay from Boss. I had a like that green phaser pedal like from Boss. I had a like a wah that was attached. So it was a lot. Right? So I don't blame anybody for thinking that like, damn, that's So what Mike said was like, yo, Aldrine, what are you trying to do there? You trying to launch a spaceship? It's like, ouch. I mean, I guess, but he was right. Like, I didn't need all that, but that's just how I knew to set up, and yeah, it wasn't really that, but yeah, a lot of like, it was the ones that kind of challenged my abilities. So Mike is just making fun of me for having a big setup on stage that I wasn't really even gonna use, you know. But it was the ones that kind of challenged like what I could do, or like they dismissed my actual skill and just chalked it up to like, oh, it's because of these and stuff. He's actually not like as as good as he thinks he is or whatever, right? So and I kind of took those things personally, and that's why I decided to just kind of get rid of everything. But yeah, Mike, he goes, "Are you gonna launch a spaceship with those pedals or like with that much buttons or whatever?" Freaking NASA over here.
But it's also funny because when like we do stuff and sometimes we're in a pinch, we ask Mike like, "Hey, do you have this offhand? Like, do you have this, cable or equipment?" And a lot of times Mike does. He has it,
Yeah.
Mike works in a music store, so of course, but I feel like if you need something, he's kind of the gear guy. Like he'll have your back for you.
Yeah. Or at least he'll know about it.
Yeah, and he teased me about my gear, and his car looks like a spaceship.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what were you guys doing? You guys, I forget where we were at, but then it was like, you guys were setting up your sound system and you needed a speaker cable, right? And you asked Mike, and Mike was like, "Yeah, I think I have one in my car." And he just ran back to his car and grabbed it.
Yeah. It was specifically the speak on cable.
So it's
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not like the standard
quarter inch
yeah.
XLR or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Though
yeah.
it's like if you're a musician, you might have that. If you're a performing musician, XLR, quarter inch, but to have like a speak on cable, it's like, okay.
It's pretty niche.
Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, I think I might have one of those." And then sure enough, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I haven't forgotten, Kahai. Give me your weird, bruh.
Okay.
I'm waiting to hear this.
Yeah. And this I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna say this with my chest, because I'm gonna say this and I think some people might be like, "Ew," or what, but yeah. Okay, so the obscure thing that I think I like that most people are gonna be like, "What is that?" Or if they know about it, there is like most opinion about it is like, "That's weird." Is like, I like watching Vtubers, and it's virtual YouTubers. So it's like people online who usually live stream, but they use like a virtual avatar to live stream as, It's kind of like tracking them in some way, and then it's showing up on screen. And it corresponds to the anime community. Most people use like an anime avatar, but there's people who use like a bunch of different styles and different things. But yeah, that's something that I think most people will either they will not know and they'll be like, "What? People do that?" Or they'll know and be like, "That's weird. Why would you like that?" But yeah, I think it's cool and I enjoy it.
So like, is there some that aren't anime? Because like every single VTuber thing that I've seen is all anime. Like, what does one that isn't anime look like?
Yeah, there's like
Kahai's avatar of his doll, the
I guess
talking
so, yeah,
KFC
okay,
doll.
okay. I guess
Because
so,
basically,
Kahai.
right? So like you figured out how to do something similar, and you use like the programs that, or at least a program that some people use, right, for VTube.
Yeah, the one that I use is like really basic though, where it just like checks your audio, and so it'll move your mouth with your audio to it.
Oh,
But the people who are doing it like more professionally, usually they use like a camera to track them, and it's looking at them.
yeah.
And then it's recreating their movements to the avatar itself too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess so. Cause you just did a cutout of the lower jaw,
Yeah, kind of. Or
and it's just mapping the audio.
yeah, there's like at a certain point when it detects that you're saying something, it'll move your mouth, and it kind of replicates, right? So what they call that is kind of more like PNG tuber too, because you're not doing like a full virtual model. It's like just a picture. But yeah, like your question, Aldrine, of what else is there? I mean, there's like there's like there was a VTuber who did like a gun, a toilet, like potatoes, and
What?
yeah, and you know, and sometimes it's like what I did, where it's just like a PNG, right? And they just animate it a little bit, but then sometimes they do like a tracking, or they do full on stuff. And yeah, that's kind of what I like about it too, is like it's a field where I think people can be really creative, and in a way it kind of reminds me of like pro wrestling and drag, where it's like there's like the kayfabe to it too, where people can put on like this persona of something else. And some people, like, their avatar is just to be on screen. It's not like a personality or something. But some people have the kayfabe where it's like they don't break out of the personality of their character like at all during their time. So it's like I just think it's like a really creative outlet, and that's kind of what I appreciated about it.
Yeah.
So Kahai, I have been waiting for this moment right now to reveal to you, for a revelation.
Okay.
That I am a Mori Calliope fan.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I am a I love the Deadbeats.
Hey. Yeah,
I don't think I've ever told you, but I've been a fan for like a year. Like, so while we were working together, and then you would do stuff like this, I was like, oh yeah, I kind of know, but I kind of want to keep it a secret. I felt like I was too nerdy even for you, you know, too dorky even for you. But my preference, Mori Calliope.
Nice. And she is the one who I first saw to get into VTubing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
She did a podcast that I used to watch, like an anime podcast, and she was on it, and I was like, oh, she's kind of cool. I checked out her stuff more, and then I was like, okay, yeah, I can see why people watch this, and I just fell into the rabbit hole.
Dude, I know the rabbit hole, because I watched One Piece, and that's been documented in this in this podcast. And when they were going to the Egghead arc, she did a song for one of the it was just like a trailer for like the Egghead arc, the anime Egghead arc. And I was like, that song is so catchy. Who does that song? And I was like, who the hell is Mori Calliope? And then I looked it up. I was like, this is some of that VTuber stuff that Kahai was kind of talking about. Because you mentioned it like a couple years back. And I was like, that's what? So I like looked, and I went down that rabbit hole, and I was like, wait, what do you mean she's like live? What do you mean she like does live shows? She's a, you know, like a virtual thing. Like, how is she doing live shows? And then I watched it. I was like, this is amazing. Like, this I don't know how they do it. I mean, I kind of have a small idea of how they do it, but it's still kind of insane, like how much people are into it. And because I also love wrestling, I get the kayfabe thing, you know, like I understand it. And I was like, man, to be in that crowd, to just like play along with this, you know, with this whole it's like the audience kind of has to be into it too, you know, and it's kind of like magic, like that gets created when people are down, like to just like be transported into another world by this like by this artist, really, you know. Like a lot of people make fun of it, like, oh, look at all you nerds and stuff, but it's like if you just let go and let yourself be entertained, because I've always kind of fancied myself more of as an entertainer than as a musician. I am a musician, but I feel like I'm more of an entertainer than I am trying to, like, you know, showcase like what I can do technically with music. But I get it, man. Like it's so fun. Like it seems like those people are just having like the time of their lives, and it's so fun. And I used to judge my friend because my friend would go to Hatsune Miku concerts. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you watching that? You know? And I finally watched it myself, and I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. I'm sorry I ever made fun. So I'll get Rick Kumori. I apologize. I'm sorry for calling you out on this podcast, but I apologize. You are of a higher thinker than I am.
I saw a podcast where a guy, he's like kind of into like the punk scene in the mainland. And he said that, but he's like nerdy and he worked for like a nerdy company. So he said he got invited to go to like a Hatsune Miku concert. And he said like that was one of the best concerts he's ever been to.
Wow.
And just the energy that like everybody is so excited and it's like, everybody's cheering.
Yeah.
It's like infectious. And I think that's kind of the same thing too. It's like, if it's not for you, that's fine. You don't have to like get into it. But I think if you can be like, oh yeah, the energy is just cool, then I think you can appreciate it for what it is, right?
Right, because like when I remember I was living in Kapaa still, and I was watching WrestleMania because I'm a big like pro wrestling fan, and then my neighbor I guess heard me like watching wrestling and getting super into it, and then when I came outside, he's like, "Are you watching wrestling?" I was like, "Yeah, man, it's WrestleMania." He's like, "That's not real, right?" And then I told him, I'm like, I heard you watch the Avengers the other day. It's not real, right? and then he's like, "Okay, well, fair enough, But I don't know why I never thought that way when my friend Rick was like, "Oh, I'm going to the mainland to go to like a Hatsune Miku concert," because I thought the same exact thing as my neighbor did. It's like, that she's not real, right? But same thing. He could have just been like, Hulk Hogan's not real, right? Aldrine, and yeah, I get it now. Now, as I'm glad you use that as comparison, pro wrestling, because that's really all it is. If you're down to be transported into that world, then they will definitely take you for a ride, and I bet it's so much fun. So I'm no longer gonna judge it because it's fun. It seems like fun. I do want to go like one of these days to check out and experience that energy for myself.
Yeah. I'm sure it's like the same thing for wrestling too, right? Where it's like some people like the on-screen persona and the on-screen stories and stuff like that. But then there's also, you can also like the personality behind the on-screen thing. And it's like, I think I've heard you talk about it, where it's like sometimes there's like drama in the show in wrestling, right?
Yeah.
But then there's drama behind the scenes too, where it's like, ooh, that is also enticing, And
Yeah.
not necessarily like drama in VTubing, but sometimes it's just like, oh, you actually see the real person like shine through the character. And
pretty cool.
It's not really like character anymore. It's just like, oh, it's just a way for them to get out there, right? And to to perform, to be a performer.
Yeah. So Kahai, favorite Moroi Calliope song?
It's
putting you on the spot right now.
It's basic. It's like the one I think most people will say, but End of a Life. It's
the guitar. Yeah, nice. I like Orpheus, man. Or I can listen to that song all day. Orpheus is so fun.
You are a fan. That And when you said Deadbeat, I was like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Hell yeah, dude.
He's not just pulling it off. Okay.
I've been in the VTuber closets this entire time, and I finally come out and revealed myself to you. I waited until this podcast. That's how special this podcast is to me. To finally come out to you. This is my coming out party. This is my coming out episode, guy. That's what we're gonna call it. It's Aldrine's coming out episode.
Yeah.
Sorry, Aaron. What were you gonna say?
No. It's just that when Kahai first mentioned all of this, the thing that I was like kind of drawn to was the anonymity part.
Oh yeah.
Because we had several discussions about this too, because I think like we've gotten to a point in our just like popular culture where it was always pitched to us that like you want fame and fortune, right? Like that's what everybody wants. And so with social media, it's like everybody has a chance to have fame, at least, And I think it's come to that point where people are now disillusioned with that, right?
Yeah.
Because like fame is not all that it's cracked up to be. And so this is almost like a counter movement to that, where it's like, I still want to express myself. I still want to be creative, but I can do it in a way where I never get recognized at an airport,
Yeah.
So
For VTubing too, like Mori Calliope, she's a part of a group called Hololive. That's like a professional group that has a lot of people in it. But a lot of them come from like they audition to be in the group, and then they have past careers, professional careers before that. And so a part of it too is like that it's kind of known, and it's like kind of a open secret, but it's like frowned upon to make that like the thing to discuss, right? When to put out there that it's like, oh, this is the person and this is what they look like, and this is like their personal information, because they're using an avatar. It's like, no, just appreciate them for who they are now, right?
For the art. For the art.
Yeah.
So it's not just like the music, but like the whole presentation of the character and like in the backstory, because like Mori Calliope, her backstory is that she's like, what is it, like the Grim Reaper, I guess, or like one of the Grim Reapers, and like that's not like a thing. No one's the Grim Reaper, like so it's just kind of cool being like transported to that to that world, to their world and their story, and then like experiencing that through music, because I'm already a big fan of music, and she's really good. Like if you just separate the VTuber thing and just listen to the songs, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. Oh, wait, one more thing, Kahai. I'm gonna up the ante and get even nerdier on you, buddy. So I am currently trying to work a deal with my friend. So to trade for a signed Mori Calliope
Card.
Card. Yeah, there's like trading. There's like a trading card game, and they did a collaboration with that VTuber company that she's with, and there's a it's not like she didn't like actually sign it, but it's just like printed on like onto the card and stuff.
If it's a signed card, it's actually signed.
Oh really?
Yeah,
so it's like
they have to sign the cards themselves. They cut them out, they signed
crazy.
it, and then they send it back to the company.
I didn't know. I thought but yeah, it's a playing card, like a trading card game. It's a TCG basically. Like something Schwartz. I forgot what the but I don't collect it. But my friend does. And then I was looking through his binder because I was looking at One Piece things, and then it turned very anime very quick. Not. I guess One Piece is also anime, but like that kind of anime. And then I saw it, and I was like, how much for that? How much for that card? Like I want to. He's like, why you like VTubers? I'm like, no, I just think it looks cool, man. Just don't worry about it. Don't think too hard about it. Like,
Smooth. Good.
That was pretty
like
cool.
the artwork.
I like the art. Her scythe is pretty sick, I guess. I mean, that's pretty cool. It's like, well, that's like a whatever, like high price card. Like why would you want it if you just want the art? Dude, just can you just give me a price, please? Start with the third degree. Just give me a price, and I just I'm trying to broker a deal to get a signed Mori Calliope card.
Yeah, she's done streams where she's opened those packs.
Yeah.
To try and find another signed card from other people in their company. I think she opened like 200 packs or something, or like she opened like 8 boxes or something without finding it. So and some people find it real fast, but those cards are kind of rare.
Yeah, dude. So I mean, perfect for the rabbit hole episode, because that was a rabbit hole that I thought I was just gonna be alone in, until like I got to talk to you again. So now I'm in this rabbit hole, but it's like it's not so bad because I have a friend here.
Yeah, I'm glad too. Like I thought I was gonna say it, and I knew you guys wouldn't like make fun of me, but I thought I would say it, and then it's like, okay, time to move on. That was interesting, but yeah, that's it. Let's move on.
I thought this episode was gonna talk more about the ukulele thing, but I had no idea I was gonna reveal myself as a VTuber enjoyer.
That's another episode I wanted to like possibly do in the future. Is like, what is interest that you have where it's like you felt like you would have been made of before, and then now when you share it, people are like, "Oh, that's pretty cool," and it's like, "Oh, yes, yes."
You're validated, Kai. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Thank you.
YouTubers
Yeah.
are cool.
It's cool. It's cool. Thank you.
All right, Aaron. You're gonna have to top that.
Gonna have to top that. Yeah. So I guess if we were talking about rabbit holes, and I guess it's sort of tangentially related. So like my wife is like kind of talking about that, like creating a character. My wife is into like drag queens, you know, like watching drag queens. And so two of her favorite are Trixie Mattel and Katya.
Oh, okay.
And they have so they have like it's like on YouTube they have a show where it's partnered with Netflix, so they watch Netflix shows and then they just kind of like comment in their character, right? And so recently we were watching some of that where they just like recap a Netflix show where they're watching, and then they're adding their own comments and stuff. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, this is just like a truncated version of Mystery Science Theater 3000, and she had no idea what that was, you know?
That's cool.
Do you guys remember that show?
Yeah, it's just a commentary on those like old movies.
Yeah. So for people who don't really remember that, Mystery Science Theater 3000 was a show where they had like the backstory of the show is basically like this guy. He's like a janitor and he gets launched off into space as a science experiment where these mad scientists are forcing him to watch really bad old movies, and so he builds like these robots that also watch the show with him, and yeah, so I guess the premise of it was they got a bunch of old like black and white films that were no longer, I guess they didn't really have to pay for the rights to show them.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, so it was like a budget, I forget what channel it was on originally, but it was kind of like a cable access show. And then it got spun out into I think it was Comedy Central that it was showed on later. But yeah, so like they basically just watch these really boring old shows, and their comments are what makes it hilarious, right? Yeah. So there was like the main like live action guy, and then there were basically puppets, right? There were these robot puppets that were also characters. And so they each had their own interjections that they would make, and it was just so hilarious. So I was really into that when I was in high school, watching that show, Mystery Science Theater 3000. And then when I went to college, I found out that there was a club, like a Misty's Club. Okay. Yeah. So there was a club where at my college where all they did was they would hang out in the student center, like they would take over like a room in the student center that had a projector, and then we would just watch old episodes of Mystery Science Theater 3000 because I think it was off the air by that point. And that was
a pretty old show, yeah.
Yeah, and then that was during the time of like LimeWire and Napster or what, you know, like, and so a lot of us were just downloading old episodes in our dorm rooms, and so yeah, every week they would have like a new episode that they would show, and sometimes it was grainy and sometimes it was terrible, but like we all just hung out in this room in the student center and watched old episodes of Mystery Science Theater 3000, and so it was a small club.
How many people you think?
I would say like consistently maybe like 10 to 15 people would show up.
That's a lot, dude.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's a lot.
But like my college was pretty big, so like, you know,
I guess so.
As far as clubs go, so my rabbit hole, I guess, is the fact, like, if you go and look up these characters that were on this show, there was the main guy, and then there was these 3 different robot puppets basically, and one of them, his name was Tom Servo. And so there was a website like on the internet, and it broke down like what parts you needed in order to make your own Tom Servo. And so yeah, so me being like, I was in a dorm room, right? I didn't have a house or anything, and somehow I got it into my mind that I wanted to make Tom Servo in my dorm room. So so yeah, every weekend for like months I was going, well, I guess it had to have been only like 2 months. Because yeah, like it was my freshman year of college. So that started in the fall. So maybe like August, September. And by October, I had a Tom Servo. So I'm thinking that it was just like all of my spare time from the time that it must have been less because I only joined the Misty's club as soon as school started, and then it had to have come into my brain maybe like a few weeks later that I wanted to make a Tom Servo.
So I can just imagine you like, oh, sorry guys, I can't hang out tonight. I need to work on Tom Servo.
No, that was not even a thing. It was just me deciding that this is everything in my life right now.
Yeah.
So I remember, like, I didn't have a car. I was riding my bike to like thrift shops and the Ace Hardware, and just figuring out like how I could possibly make it, because it was very like specialized parts. Like they were, if you like looked at the parts list, it was from just like random, like, and this was, I guess eBay was already a thing, but it wasn't like populated as much as it is now, right? Amazon wasn't what it is now. There was no like, you know, like not every store had an online presence, and so I was hobbling together like what I could to recreate this Tom Servo. And I specifically remember that his hands were made or were taken from another toy, like a vintage toy from like the 1960s or 70s. And so because I couldn't get a hold of that toy, I fashioned it out of clay. I had like the type of clay that like would self-harden. You didn't have to put it in a kiln or anything. And so like I spent a kind of a lot of time on that. And then I also couldn't find the springs for his arms, and so like I made the springs out of wire.
You just bent it.
I found like a dowel or something that was about the right size, and then I did that for his arms. And yeah, and it looked fantastic. It looked like film quality. So
Did you
yeah,
just like have it in your room and like just hang it out?
yeah. I had it pretty much until I left college.
Who ended up taking that thing? Or did you take it back
sure
with you?
if I gave it to somebody from the club, but yeah.
Wow.
I wanted to ask, do you think you have any pictures of it or anything?
I have one picture of it. I'm pretty sure if I can dig it up, I'll try to find it. It's on like a CD-ROM or you know, or like a CD, a burnt DVD.
If you can pull it up, like I'll add it to the post, you know, so people can see it too.
Yeah. If I can find it. And so like that was one of those where like I fully went down the rabbit hole. And so there was one I guess gathering of the Misty's club that was right around Halloween. And so it was like dress up, and then we would have like a Halloween costume contest. Like, you know, you could dress up as any of the characters from any of the movies or like whatever it is. And so I showed up with like the jumpsuit, like Joel's jumpsuit from Mystery Science Theater 3000, and a Tom Servo that was wrapped in toilet paper as if he had dressed up as a mummy. And so
Specific episode.
so I obviously won the costume contest. And so so I showed up, And I could see it on people's faces that like I had gone too far. Like so like other people who are already into Mystery Science Theater 3000 thought like this guy is like really into it. Like, yeah. And then yeah, the vast majority of the entire club, like I could see it on their faces that like, wow, like this kid is just a little bit too much, you know?
They've been out mistied.
yeah. Except for there was one guy, and like I let him like look at my Tom Servo puppet, and it even had like I built in the thing where you could puppeteer it, so like you could do the expression of the arms. So it was like a pneumatic kind of like a pump that you could do, and you squeeze the pump and his arms would extend. and there was also like a PVC pipe that ran through to the head, and so you could turn the head, but on the head itself was on like a Lazy Susan, so it was really smooth, you know. Yeah, it was like pretty accurate. And so like the guy, he took a look at my puppet and he like moved the PVC pipe in order to like move the head, turn the head, and he was like, Lazy Susan? And I was like, yes. And he was like, he gave me the thumbs up. And so that was like the only guy that I actually got like confirmation that I was not too far down the rabbit hole, because he obviously had seen the same parts list that I like based it off of. And so yeah. So that, I guess that would be mine. And I think over the years I've like replicated that story in different ways, but yeah.
The first podcast we recorded, Aaron was like, yeah, I don't think I get into things like, you know, as fast or as hard as you guys. And it's just like, well, that's a fucking lie.
Yeah. In my younger days, I was a little different, but
and I wasn't thinking of that though. But I was thinking about when you know, it's like one week we go into work and you go like, I think I want to make the container for like the ooze from TMNT, right? And then I think
he also made like the ukulele case.
Yeah.
Like for the tiny ukulele.
Yeah.
He made a one like. Must be like a 1/32 like scale of my actual ukulele's case.
No, maybe like a quarter scale
of my my ukulele case, and it was legit. Like it looked exactly like my case, but just a quarter size.
Because even even now, right? You have all these stickers on your case, but Aaron recreated all those stickers and their placement to put onto the smaller case too. And then for people who don't know too, or people who haven't seen the Ukulele Underground podcast, Aaron had a tiny ukulele that he would put in the case itself too. So it was
it was scaled to fit the nano ukulele. It was made by Andy's Ukes from the UK, so it was like the nano ukulele. And so I made a replica of Aldrine's ukulele case for that tiny ukulele. So it was.
So when you're telling that story, that's all I'm thinking about. I was like, yeah, he would do something like that. I've seen him go to the extremes like that to create something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when you're saying to like, you're like, no, it must have been even less time for me to make it, you know? It's like, that makes sense to me too, because it's like, you're like, okay, I want to make the ooze container from TMNT. You say that one week, and then I think it's a weekend, and then the next week you're like, yeah, I made it. And I'm like, you were just saying that like earlier to me. And I feel like, isn't that the thing too we talk about, Aaron, where it's like a compulsion where you can't do anything else until you finish whatever that idea is.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this podcast, you probably resonate with that at least a little bit.
Yeah.
In whatever it is that you're into. But yeah, actually thinking about it right now, I went over to my parents' house, and my dad has like a smoker for like smoking meats and stuff like that. So now it's at my house. And so I'm gonna be working on some smoked oatmeal very soon.
Smoked meal.
Keawe Wood smoked oatmeal.
Oh my gosh.
So not to go off topic or anything, but Aaron, do you remember there was one of the three local boys that that went solo, Hawaiian Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Hawaiian Ryan had he had an album, and one of the recurring things that was on that album was the confessional hotline or something. Like there was a Christian confessional hotline where or a Catholic confessional hotline where they would just leave their confessions after the beep, and then Hawaiian Ryan would go into leaving his confession. I think we should have something like that for the Pastime Paradise podcast, where people can just anonymously leave their obsession or obsession confessions, and we can play them on the show.
I just needed to tell somebody about this because there's nobody else that I can tell.
I was gonna say the rabbit hole confession, right? Or
that's it.
Yeah.
The rabbit hole confessions. We should do that.
Because it's when I see people online too. I think it was a meme, right? Is how do you know your boyfriend won't cheat on you? And then the person posted here's a picture of my boyfriend's Hot Wheel collection, and it's Hot Wheels on the wall. But when I see stuff like that, it's that is my people. That is somebody I would be yeah, awesome. I want to talk to you about Hot Wheels.
There was one that's kind of similar to that, where it was an Instagram or TikTok trend where girlfriends would be hey, you guys, my boyfriend's gonna talk about his trading card collection, and you guys are gonna be nice and you're gonna clap after. Mm-hmm. Okay, go tell him, babe. And they're all right. So he starts talking about his magic collection, his magic cards collection. You guys are gonna be nice, and you're gonna comment down below and leave this video okay?
Yeah.
We should do that. We should do an audience rabbit hole confessionals.
Yeah. That would be cool. It's okay. We know one person who's listening, so Chris, where's your confessional?
And you gotta, when we play it, you have to distort the voice, how they do in some crime shows and stuff, so that people can't tell.
I was gonna say Chris has to be Father, I have sinned. I have spent $500 on Vtubers or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, how was I supposed to support them? I'm pretty sure Grim Reaping doesn't pay that well.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I thought I was gonna talk more about the the ukulele pedals thing, but I'm so glad we went in the directions that we did. From VTubers to Aaron's Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah.
It's I love this. I love this pod, everybody.
There's another connection between VTubers and puppets too. Mm-hmm. It's everybody thinks that VTubers, and kind of it is, but Kizuna Ai was the first VTuber. She's usually given that title. Mm-hmm. But the first person that I saw actually do something with where face tracking and you're using it to control a virtual model was Jim Henson. He had the Jim Henson show, and they had a character that was controlled by a person puppeting it with their face too. So
yeah.
So I think kind of in that DNA, you can see where it's almost the best performers, they just seem to it's people think oh, it's weird, they're hiding behind something, but it's no, they're not really. They're using it to enhance whatever they're doing too.
Yeah. I played around with some of the software after you were telling me about it. I forget which one I was using, Vroid Studio or something like that. And so yeah, you can map out even the different vowel sounds or consonant sounds, so that when your mouth makes that sound, it'll map to a very specific like look to your character's mouth. But
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, you know, there's as simple as you just make like a PNG talk.
yeah.
But then recently there's like a trend where people were showing how they can track their full body. And also it's like they're tracking their chair that they sit in. So when they sit in it and they spin, it shows them spinning in a chair too. And it's like 1-for-1.
Damn.
Oh,
Or it's like or another person showed that they track their guitar. So like when they're playing guitar, you can actually see like where they're playing to
yeah.
on their character.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, we bought a webcam for recording our ukulele academy. Aldrine and I, we run an ukulele academy here on Kauai, and we bought a camera, like a webcam that's pretty advanced, and I'm now thinking about it. We could probably use that to do some. Yeah. We could turn Aldrine into a VTuber.
Yep.
Look,
Not that it would hide his identity at all, but
that boat has long sailed. And then it's like the VTuber persona is like trying to scold everybody about their form, but I'm sure like the VTuber form is gonna be terrible.
yeah.
I love it, gentlemen. And anything else you guys want to bring up?
Well, like you mentioned your pedals that you've gotten
Yeah.
into that, but is there anything else that you feel like is pretty obscure that people wouldn't know, like that you're into that rabbit hole? I guess VTubing too is like that is it.
Yeah. I just kind of jumped on that same bandwagon. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm into a lot of like obscure stuff. Another one that I brought up before was like over engineered Japanese stationery or just stationery in general, and like and both my wife and I would just like watch hours and hours of like, reviews on like what the best ones that came out like that week or that month, you know. And we're like, okay, cool, we're gonna order this, we're gonna order that, and we're gonna get some of these and try out these like over engineered things. So that I got into that kind of recently. I think the past maybe few months.
Do you have a fountain pen, or has that like got into your feed too?
No, I have terrible handwriting, but I got pens that that are specifically made for how I write in in the kind of style that I write things. It's tough to explain, okay? But like it's got the right thickness on the point, and I'm kind of a heavy-handed writer, so it's kind of meant for that. And the kind of the ink that's on there is also like an ink that releases super fast. So no matter if I'm like heavy with it or light with it, it's pretty like even across the across the field. So that's kind of what I mainly got it for. Whether like I'm pressing down super hard or I'm trying to make something like it's still across the board nice and even. So that's something that like weird, I guess, or just kind of like, why would you get into that like kind of thing that I got into recently. But throughout my entire life, it's been the same exact story of like, why would you get into that? I'm pretty sure my parents were like, you're into playing cards now? Like not even like Pokemon, but just like, like playing cards. I'm like, yeah, I want to do magic and stuff. And and like, no, actually, they were like, okay, so you're gonna do magic? It's like, no, I'm just gonna shuffle them really fancy. Like, I'm not even gonna do magic.
Or
with them.
playing poker or something.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of that stuff, and I look forward to talking more about it in the future episodes. That's kind of why I look forward to this podcast, because I don't know what we're gonna talk about next, and I don't know what's gonna get revealed next, because I was not expecting myself to I wasn't expecting to out myself today of being into VTubers.
What do they say in Confessionals? It's like, it's okay, my son. Like,
Yeah.
I have to do 50 Hail Marys now.
Yeah.
the Lord forgives.
Oh man, I really Now that you bring it up,
Yeah.
Saving Ryan's Privates,
Yeah.
that album
Yeah.
is one of the CDs that I need to get.
Yeah, I'm still looking for that CD, dude.
Yeah.
I love that album.
Because Aldrine mentioned it, but like, do you want to explain who they are, like Hawaiian Ryan and Three Local Boys?
Yeah, I think Aaron would be better to explain because he lived that era, whereas like I just found out about them afterwards because I wasn't born in Hawaii, so like I experienced a lot of the Hawaii like culture later on in life.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been right around that time when when you came over to Hawaii.
Yeah.
That was probably when they were the most popular. Like right
I came in
around-
'92.
Yeah.
but I was like into like the Filipino channel and like what my parents were into and stuff. So I wasn't really like listening to like Three Local Boys, nor did I get it. Like it took me a while to get into the culture.
Yeah. Yeah, so Hawaii, like any place, there are like local celebrity comedians, and so like everybody cites like Rap Replinger and like Booga Booga, like rap came from Booga Booga. So there were comedy troupes and comedy like individuals that were famous in Hawaii. So like I guess in the early 90s it was Frank DeLimo was another really famous comedian, and so right around that time, because Frank DeLima was so popular, there were some young up and comers, and there was a group called the Three Local Boys, and I think it was Lanai, Jimmy the Geek, and it might have been Hawaiian Ryan and somebody else. I feel like there was somebody else too.
That was Augie T.
But, like,
Those
they-
was in that. Wasn't it like Lanai, Augie, and Hawaiian Ryan? I thought it was the Three Local Boys.
No, it was
Ah.
Jimmy the Geek, Lanai, and Augie, I guess. And then Hawaiian Ryan was featured on that. Yeah. I think on the Three Local Boys album, it said featuring Hawaiian Ryan. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And then a bunch of them went into either broadcasting or
radio.
like
Radio,
radio or television. And so yeah, like Lanai is still on the local cable network channels and stuff with TV shows, but they were young. I think they were still in high school when they put out that album. Yeah. And so that was in the 90s, and then later on in like right around 2000, Hawaiian Ryan came out with his own his own album, and it was called Saving Ryan's Privates. And pretty much every time that I go to Ideas, Books and Music on Oahu, that's what I'm looking for.
Me
But I've never found it.
Me too.
Yeah, I've never found it.
It was actually Mark Baldonado who introduced me to Hawaiian Ryan. We used to be in a band, me, Mark, Ryan, and this guy named Mike. Not Magic Mike, but Mike Fernandez, and we were part of a group called Makalea. And we rarely had rehearsals at my house and in Koloa because most of them lived in Kapa'a. So I remember one time there was a rehearsal at my house, and Mike would usually get there first, and then Ryan and Mark drove together, and I just remembered seeing them in the driveway. They're just cracking up, they couldn't get out of the car. I was like, dude, we've been waiting for like 5-10 minutes now. You guys are just sitting in your car ready to practice. But he just got the Hawaiian Ryan CD, and they're both like just cracking up. And I remember asking Mark to make me a copy, and I've only had that copy, and that lasted me for a long time. And then I much like with anything, after I moved, I couldn't find it, and I've been looking for that CD for like the longest time.
Yeah. Actually, I have a story, but maybe we can save it for the bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice bonus pods. You gotta go check out the Patreon. Tell them about the bonus pod, Kahai.
Yeah. We're trying to record more bonus episodes after we record the main episode. So if you want to listen to that, it's usually about maybe like half an hour more of just us talking and shooting the shit. So if you want to listen to that, you can sign up for our Patreon. It's patreon.com/PPPod. And then the other thing I want to mention is I think people, you look up Pastime Paradise and you might have a hard time finding it because it's Stevie Wonder. that dang Stevie Wonder taking all our
thorn on my
searches.
side.
Yeah. But if you want to find us, you can go to pastimeparadisepodcast.com. That's that is our website. But I think the website I prefer is you can also go to bigpppod.com. So yeah, make sure you spell that correctly because we got 3. It's PP pod. I don't know about like if there's another one that's another spelling, but
The letter P.
if you go there, you should find us. Yeah,
The letter P. Yeah.
2
Yeah,
P's.
I guess so. You got to be careful what you're typing onto the internet now. You know.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, gentlemen, that's quite the rabbit hole that we went down on. But you know what? The sun is setting, and I feel like the wind is calling us away. So it is past our time in this paradise. We will see these fine folks later. Have a great one, everybody. Aloha.
Thanks.
bye.